Alright, what's up YouTube? Figured I'd make a video on this really quick because like I said, I'm going to try to document everything I've done with this 2000 CRV. So I have done this in the past and explained it, but I'm going to make a little bit better video here. I don't have my stand that I want for my phone, and I just got a new phone, so I don't want to risk setting it up a certain way until I get that, because I don't want to crack anything or break anything. So I'm going to show this kind of as I go off and on. I'm not really going to have it right there, and it's really only 2 bolts and 2 hoses that connect to the bottom, so it's really not that hard to explain. I'll show you. It's even easier on the 97 to 08 intake manifolds, or sorry, 97 to 98 intake manifolds. 99, 2000, 2001, it's a little bit harder, but not by much at all. But we're going to be replacing the idle air control valve. And something a lot of people make a mistake on and still end up having the surge and idle problems that I found, at least for the CRV for sure, and I know the Civics of this generation, is that for a manual, you actually have a different idle air control valve. I don't know what the difference are. Someone smarter than me might be able to explain it or tell you, but they are designed a little different. And I'll show you here. I have an automatic one, and I got to see what's on this one because it's been having a problem. But either way, I bought a brand new one from Rock Auto, and it was just a standard one. It was supposed to be a decent brand, supposedly. I don't know. We'll find out. Try it. And the part number is AC538. And this might be something that some of you guys are having trouble with, because I have actually made a mistake in the past, and I actually did an auto one, not knowing, on my 99, and I kept having issues. And actually before that, I actually did on my automatic, I did a standard one on there because I had an extra one at that time, and it was on my wife's 2000 automatic, the one that you guys have seen lifted also, and it kept having issues. And then finally I found out that I needed an automatic one. Boom, problem solved. Thing ran great. After I bled it, it was no problems ever since. So I don't really know the entire difference on there, but this one is actually same thing from a B20. It's a little different looking too, and this is because it's automatic. So I'm gonna show you guys. I think it's because the cylinder is longer, and I'm not sure if it senses amount of pressure or something when it opens up. I'm not quite positive, but so here's the one I need for the manual. Now if you see, these are kind of, you know, cat cornered in the corners here. You know, they're not straight directly right across from each other. The cylinder that plugs in for the sensor is a little bit shorter. The bolt patterns are exactly the same. The gasket's the same, but the amount I believe that you actually see in here of whatever that cylinder is a little different. So now here is the automatic. The automatic, the portholes are directly across from each other. The plate is actually a little bit bigger, I want to say. The cylinder actually looks a little bit bigger, and it comes off here. Now, there's 2 different styles that are pretty much same, but they're both automatics and are similar to this. And if you look in the screen, and it's not as open as much where you can see the pressure cylinder in there. So, I mean, they are different. Will they bolt up? Will they plug right in? Yes, the plugs are actually the same style plug, and that might be your problem. So I just wanted to explain that you want to make sure if you have a manual, you get the manual. If you have an automatic, you want to make sure you get an automatic, because I didn't know. I had no clue till I found that out. I always just, you know, slapped one on there, and in the past when I was younger, I actually still had the problems, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the hell? I changed thermostat, bleeding valve, everything, new antifreeze, radiator, all kinds of stuff, fan switches, like tried all kinds of things, and I kept having the bouncing, surging idle. Even in some of the ones where you take the plate off and screw the piece back in there, that, you know, if you've ever seen it, there's another piece of idle air control valve or in your throttle body, and some of them that you just got to screw it back in there. And if this is bad, it will still cause it and throw a check engine light code. So I hope that explains. I'll show you really quick where this is on the CRV on a 2000 or 99 and above. Over here, I got the flashlight on it. So if you have the 99 and above, you're going to have this torque box style intake manifold, whereas the 9798 is going to have the lower compression B20B4, which is 120 horsepower, different style intake manifold, different compression, where these B20Zs make, I believe, between 135 or 145. I'd have to look again. There's about a 20 horsepower boost, and they have a intake manifold that's supposedly for better torque, which I do believe it does compared to the other ones. So basically, you're getting right back there, and you can see that one actually looks just like mine. It looks like a manual version, and we're gonna find out if that's it. So you have those two down below, those two hoses. Say they're gonna carry antifreeze. You're gonna drop some antifreeze out, so make sure you get some antifreeze to refill. And basically it's 2 bolts, and just make sure you got that gasket lined up on there, and you're gonna, you know, replace it, plug it in, and go. The only struggle really is probably gonna be those 2 hoses. And if you take it off, you can get to it a little bit better while it's hanging from those hoses if you have a little bit of slack. So I'll come back and show you guys exactly what I did and how it looks when it's off, and then I'll show you with the new one on, okay? Okay guys, so here's the old one. And here's the new one. Now, you can see how they look exactly the same there. I don't know if this one was replaced. It doesn't look that bad, and it doesn't have the tech symbol on there or any branding, kind of like the OEMs do. So I'm kind of wondering if this wasn't a replacement already. So we're going to take a look, because it looks very similar to the one I just bought. So we'll find out. And you know, here's side by side, here's automatic, here's manual. See the difference? So there is a difference for sure in there. Now for these 2 hoses, I forgot to say, needle nose plier is probably the best, at least for me. It gets down there, and just make sure you remember where your hoses are. I put that one off to the side. That one is to the right port. That one is to the left port. So when you're doing that, just make sure you pay attention to that. All right, guys. Very simple task. Took me about 15 minutes. New one is on. You see the new hoses. See if you can see those. Slipped right on. Again, you just want to get the crimps. Slide them off, slide them back on. Might be a little bit pain in the ass. Might have to grab these hoses with the pliers, wiggle them a little bit, take a flathead screwdriver, slowly take it off, try not to damage the hose. And then of course you take, you know, those 2 12mm bolts are in right there, one right there, and you just slide those screws out. They're pretty long, or bolts out, they're pretty long, and it comes off. Do the reverse process. Make sure you take your plug off. Plug's underneath, if you can see it right there. And yeah, just reverse that, do the same thing, pop it on. Then you're going to want to clear your check engine light code. You can either do that with a code reader, or you can pull the fuse for the ECU, or the simplest way is just take the negative off the battery terminal, or the positive. Either one really doesn't matter. Mainly negative, I would say. Take that off, clear your codes, restart it. You want to make sure your overfill tank is where it should be, because they'll take some of that extra antifreeze. Let it heat up, see where it's at. Then after it cools, I would maybe check and see if you need to add any antifreeze. But that's pretty much it, guys. It was not long at all. And I'm going to go ahead and check it here and see how it goes, all right? Okay, guys, so like I was explaining, after you bleed a little bit of antifreeze, if you have to, you might not even have to. Usually the overfill tank will do what it needs to do after letting it run for a little bit, or a drive, as long as you didn't lose like a ton of antifreeze. So check engine light is off. I've let it run for about 30 minutes now. I took it for a drive, got it all the way up to 80 miles per hour or more. Turn the heat on, and one thing you want to do is make sure you turn your heat on, defrost, you know, let the vents all the way open, go all the way through, circulate through the heater core, everything. Then I ran the heat, you know, different cycles as I was driving. So far, I haven't got any check engine light, no bouncing idle. Idle's where it is supposed to be. In fact, it's probably a little bit lower. I need to probably bump it up just a little bit, but I'm going to make sure let it sit a little bit longer. Temperature is where it's supposed to be. everything's looking good. So there's no failures, no nothing like that. You know, this should be, if you can get the code, it will tell you it's a idle air control valve, ICA. If I'm saying that right, I got to remember. But anyways, idle air control valve. So pretty simple, guys. Really easy on these CRVs, and that could be your problem, and it will cause a bunch of bouncing idle problems, a bunch of other stuff. This thing's idling, doing fine. You know, again, not too bad. It does have some bad motor mounts, so it shakes a little bit. Gotta fix that, but very easy, guys. Just make sure you watch your antifreeze. Hope that helps. Again, if you need any, have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Find me on Instagram, Facebook. Do me a favor, hit a like on here, help the boy out. Subscribe, share the video. Any questions, comments, anything like that definitely helps out. All right, guys. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy your Saturday. It's a Saturday for me. I'm about to go enjoy a nice burger, hang out with some friends, bring my son, have a good time. You guys have a good day, all right?